We're good.
Okay.
Alright. Let's have your story.
You ready?
Shoot, brother, shoot.
My name is Bill O'Connor. I'm a retired firefighter from New York City, Bronx and Harlem. I'm not a politician. I'm not a demagogue. I'm not erudite. So I'm going to tell you that I see a lot of signs out here about trickle-down economics. What I am is 63 years old and I grew up in the streets of the Bronx. And what I do know is when I feel something, a pain in my ass because somebody's sticking something up it. And this trickle-down economics, we had a name for that too in the Bronx. We used to call it piss down my back and tell me it's raining. This is nonsense. If you want to get something from the rich, the only way to get anything from the 1% is organized labor and organize the people. Organized greed can only be fought with organized labor. And they feel kind of uncomfortable right now. I was looking at an interview by Congressman from New York. And he said that we can't allow these people to forge policy. He says, I was around in the 60s. He says, and they forged policy. We can't allow that to happen again. We got to take control of the streets. That's Peter King, representative from New York, called it a mob. Well, I'm looking around here. I don't see any mobs. I don't see any spike-haired hippies. I don't see any anarchists. I call these Americans. That's what I see. I don't know if Peter King is aware of it, but when he vowed allegiance, he vowed it to the Constitution of the United States. The corporations might be the ones that sign his check, but he still owes allegiance to the people of the United States. This is the First Amendment. First Amendment, Peter. Deal with it. It's the First Amendment. These people are peaceful. They're fed up. They've had enough. In the words of Let It Go, democracy is coming to the USA. And right now it's evident. It's out here. I hear a lot of people bashing unions. I even had people ask me today, they said, you know, a lot of small businessmen, you have a pension, you have health care. They don't have that. What do you say to those people? I say to those people, you live in the richest country in the world. You're asking the wrong question. Don't ask why I have health care. Ask why you don't. Don't ask why I have a pension. Ask why you don't. That's what you should be asking. They're changing the rich are changing, they control the media and they control the Congress. I can tell you this, I'm 63 years old, I've been around a long time, you don't see too many honest politicians. They call it the last refuge of a scoundrel. Well, you know, when Congress sits down to make laws, there's plenty of room at that table for lobbyists, there's plenty of room for corporations, and there's plenty of room for the congressmen on their payrolls. But the more money that's involved, I can guarantee you the less chance there will be a seat at the table for the people. The only way to get a seat at the table is to make some noise. And these people are out here doing it, and I think it's wonderful. They don't like organized labor. They don't like organized events, the rich. It makes them uncomfortable. But I can tell you something about the history of labor. You take people like Eugene Debs, you take people like Walter Reuther, take people like John L. Lewis, take the Monty McGuires, take people like Joe Hill. Some of those people died to get rights for these people. You don't like unions? They're going to work 7 days a week. You don't like unions? Don't work an 8-hour day. Feel free. You don't like unions? Well, then you know what? Take your 12-year-old out of school and stick him into a factory someplace. Because as late as 1920, there was children marching through the streets of New York with signs, please let us off on Sunday so we can play. They're working 84 hours a week. Those are 12-year-old kids. Unions gave us that gift.
Yep.
You want to knock unions? Then go to work on Labor Day. What do you want me to tell you?
I'm going to send this video to my brother.
All I know is organized greed, you fight it with organized labor, you fight it with organizations like this, and you fight it with a clean press. I just graduated at 63, last year, for journalism, with a journalism degree from the University of Florida. I learned that journalism, it's a dilemma for journalists today. Do they work for the people? Is it really the fourth estate? Or do they work for the people that sign their checks? If they don't work for the people that sign their checks, they don't get a voice and they get fired. So the top 1% control the media and they control your politicians, ergo they control your future. The only way to get it back is just what you're doing right now. Get the money out of politics. Get the money completely out of politics. Do you know that of all the congressmen in the United States today, 97% of the incumbents have more money than the people they ran against? That's democracy?
Right.
Is that democracy?
Absolutely not.
And I tell you this today, they want to know why these kids are marching. I'll tell you why they're marching. I'll tell you what, because they're fed up. You know why they're fed up? Because this is 210 years later from our founding fathers, and there's still taxation without representation. We don't have any representation. Nobody's representing the people. It's the same thing that happened 200 years ago. They're lucky we're not boarding ships and throwing tea into the ocean. These people are peaceful. As long as they stay peaceful, I think it's a wonderful movement. I think it's great that they're finally out in the streets. Another thing to Peter King, and I don't have anything particularly against him, except he called the people in occupying Wall Street a mob, and told them we have to control the agenda. We can't let them control. But we're the people. You know, like you talk about unemployed, they call that special interests. They talk about unions. Well, the media calls that special interests. They talk about minorities. Well, the media calls that special interests. That's the people. That's not special interests. We're the people. What is the interest of this country? To make sure corporations keep making more money and they're going to create jobs? Again, trickle-down economics? Piss down my back and tell me it's raining. That's trickle-down economics.
Nice.
Because I tell you, I'm not talking for the people that are here, I'm talking for me. I don't believe in the comfort of opinion without the discomfort of thought. I believe you should think before you opine. And that's my opinion. I'm speaking for me. I'm not speaking for the New York City Fire Department. I'm certainly not speaking for the people of LA. But that's the way I feel. That's why I'm here. I'm here because I'm fed up.
Do you have any recommendations for the people of this movement?
I think you should stay peaceful. I think it's the most important thing is to stay peaceful.
Totally.
Because police know how to handle violence. They really don't know how to handle peace. Just stay peaceful. They've been cool. We stay cool.
Yep.
Your message should be heard. And I think it's a wonderful thing. I think this is what democracy is all about. This is the First Amendment. Congressman, you don't like it? Deal with it. That's what you were sworn to uphold, the Constitution. You weren't sworn to uphold the guys that pay, that sign your checks. That's the way I feel. That's me. My name is Bill O'Connor. Thank you very much for your time. And I hope my rant wasn't too offensive.